You don't just watch an NHL game. You feel it. Feel the power, the speed. Feel the strength, the grace. The magic. NHL hockey. Feel the thunder.
After 20 minutes in St. Louis, welcome back. There's your score. The Flames, nothing, and the St. Louis Blues, nothing. Hi again, everybody. I'm Jim Kelly, along with number 24, Bernie Federko. A little extracurricular activity at the end of the period, and with it being so hot out there, Bernie, I guess that's about the last thing you need.
Really, Jim, it's so hot out there, and any energy you can conserve is worth it, and you don't need to waste any like you did at the end of the period there.
Were you surprised that it was as chippy as it was out there so early with so much at stake?
Well, not really. I think if you go back to Game 5, it was basically the same kind of game. I think everybody wants it real bad. They've never been in the Cup final. We've never been there, so tempers flare a little quicker than normal, and I guess that's why you get this brand of hockey.
All right, the game's underway now. Let us in a little bit on Jacques' secret plan. Obviously, it was to double shift you, at least till you run out of gas.
Well, he's trying to use me on the left wing. We haven't really been able to get very much open ice. Otto's a big man out there, and he's hard to get away from, so he's trying to use me on the left side as much as he can and try to get me away from him, but things aren't working that good right now. It's a real tight checking game. We expected this. This is our brand of hockey, and we really wanted them to play this style in our building, and the longer we hopefully can hold them off the scoreboard, the better it is for us. And
number 24, you are out there killing penalties as well. Now, can you go a full 60 like this, double shift and kill penalties?
Well, you got to dig down a little at the end of this season like this. This could be our last game if we don't win it, so I'll use anything I can out there. The adrenaline gets flowing pretty good in this building, and we got some great fans out there, and they really make a lot of noise. So you reach down a little deeper, and you get that extra all the time.
When you know you've got to win 2 games back-to-back, especially a 7th game in their building, how do you approach each period? Do you do it kind of shift by shift?
Well, right now, that's what we're doing. We can't worry about Game 7 until we win Game 6. So right now, we talked about it before the game. We're going period by period. It's all we want to do is try to win every period. This one's tied, so there's no damage done. But we hopefully we'll just think about the next 20 minutes and go from there.
Have you had any secret as far as breaking young Mike Vernon, an excellent young goaltender for the Flames?
Well, I think the more shots you get, the chances of scoring are better. We only got 19 shots in the last game, and he did make some great saves. But I think any time that goalie's hot, the more shots you get on him, the better percentage you have of scoring. So that's right now. We got to get some more shots. I don't think we had very many of that period. We're trying to get some more traffic in front of the net because he is a smaller goalie. He's not one of the big guys. So if you can get some traffic in there, he might not be able to see the puck, and hopefully we'll find an open side.
All right, Bernie, I know we don't have a towel here for you or a soda, but we do have for number 24 on his 30th birthday from all of us at ESPN, a birthday cake, all right?
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Maybe you'll be able to celebrate a victory tonight as well on your birthday.
Let's hope so. That's what we're gunning for right now.
Well, it's a double. We've got a stylish Loris sports watch for you, too. Loris, of course, the official timepiece of ESPN. So happy birthday. Best of luck the rest of the way, and maybe we'll see you in Calgary on Wednesday night.
Jim, thank you very much.
Okay, it's 0-0, the Blues and the Flames, and we'll be back after this timeout.
Kostoff Flowers is now Kostoff Marcus Flowers, and we understand how special your greetings, remembrances, condolences, and happy thoughts are to those you care about. Let the Kostoff Marcus Rosemobile deliver your floral gift today and let that special someone know you care. Kostoff Marcus Flowers makes it easy. Just call 563-3110 and charge it to your Visa, American Express, or MasterCard. And for your convenience, we're open Sunday from 10 to 3. Because you care enough to send flowers, Kostoff Marcus Flowers cares enough to make them perfect.
My master has the latest of everything. There's his snapper pack and sack, most advanced grass catcher on earth. Comes only on high vac, holds 1/3 more clippings, even tells you when it's full. Easy to empty, slides like a drawer, bags grass right in machine. Master loves his snapper pack and sack. I think I'm a little jealous.
See Snapper and Bolin mowers at Studs Hardware. Studs Hardware buys, sells, and repairs used lawnmowers, and we've been doing it for over 30 years. Studs Hardware on South Telegraph Road, 3/4 of a mile from Van Born.
Hello, everyone. everyone. Greg Gumbel with you in the ESPN Sports Center newsroom. We'll get back to Tom Mees and more live Stanley Cup action in just a moment. But first, let's update you on what's happening in Major League Baseball. 4 games underway in the American League, 3 in the National League. Here's a look first at the American League in Baltimore. The White Sox and the Orioles are tied at 2-2 in the 7th inning. Tollefson is homered for the White Sox, his second of the year with 1 on in the 7th inning. At Cleveland, Texas leads the Indians 9-1 in the 6th inning. Texas playing that game under protest by manager Bobby Valentine. At Kansas City, the Royals 4-2 leaders over Detroit in the 4th inning. And at Minnesota, the Yankees and the Twins are tied at 2 in the 3rd. 3 games in the National League. At Montreal, the Reds leading the Expos 3-2 in the 7th inning. Atlanta at Shea Stadium in New York, where Mailer and Fernandez have a pitcher's duel going. They're scoreless in the 7th. And Philadelphia and Houston, the Phillies lead at 1-0 in the 4th inning. After a timeout, we will rejoin Tom Mees and more of the action between Calgary and St. Louis here on ESPN.
Introducing the G-Shock 5200 watch from Casio. The sports watch that's ready for action with a built-in shock absorber. It's tough, so tough, this G-Shock can take a slap in the face and not even flinch. The G-Shock 5200, just one of Casio's water-resistant sports watches. It's one tough watch to beat.
When I wanted new golf clubs, I didn't buy the first ones I saw. I asked a pro. But when I needed a trimmer to keep my beard and mustache looking great, I didn't ask anyone. I bought the best around. The Groomsman by Wall, with a one-of-a-kind attachment for virtually foolproof trimming. Wall invented the electric clipper almost 70 years ago, and they're still #1 with hairstyling pros. So why didn't I ask a pro about Wall? I didn't have to. I am a pro. The Groomsman and other fine products by Wall. Ask a pro.
What's that you're shaving with?
A Norelco.
Looks terrific.
Well, it is America's leading electric. It's rechargeable, it's guaranteed, and it gives me a fantastic shave.
As close as a blade?
Yep. Feel.
Wow.
It's our patented system that lifts each whisker up and shaves it off blade close.
I love it when you talk high-tech.
What do you think of the Norelco Ladies Rechargeable I gave you?
Terrific. What do you think?
Sensational.
Norelco. We put quality first.
Give me a light. Go! Bud Light.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Thank you.
Because everything else is just a light.
Welcome back to our NHL studios, everyone. I'm Tom Mees. No score after 1 period from the arena in St. Louis. Game 6, the Campbell Conference Finals. The situation is this. The Calgary Flames lead the series 3-2. Obviously, if Calgary wins tonight, they'll go on to play Montreal in the Stanley Cup Finals. Should St. Louis win tonight, there will be a 7th game Wednesday night on ESPN from the Saddle Dome in Calgary. Well, back at the St. Louis Arena, our Ken Wilson is standing by with some of his thoughts on the first period. Ken, kind of chippy out there.
Tom, no question. Penalties all of a sudden becoming a huge factor in this game. And when you look at things now, the St. Louis Blues have put them in the hole. They've gotten themselves in the hole with the penalties. At the end of the period, the fight broke out. Lanny McDonald gets 2 minutes for high sticking. The Blues' Doug Gilmour gets 2 minutes for high sticking, plus a 2-minute roughing penalty that'll give the Blues a shorthanded situation. Joel Otto and Charlie Bourgeois each 5 minutes for fighting, and each a 10-minute misconduct. That could well hurt Calgary even more than the Blues because of the valuable Joel Otto being out with a misconduct. Now, Bill Clement, the Blues are going to have to start that second period 2 men short.
I would hate to be in their shoes right now. Honestly, it is potentially a large turning point for the Calgary Flames. And I'll tell you what, I'll give Kerry Fraser, the referee, a lot of credit. Gilmour ran right over Lanny McDonald to cross-check him right into the net. They ended up, the 2 number 9s, right in the net. But it was a great call by Kerry Fraser, especially with all that action that goes on down there. He's only got 2 eyes, and there are 10 guys out there.
And Calgary, as it turned out, had as good a scoring opportunity in those last 6 seconds as they had the entire period. And when you look at things, Bill, both teams did have some pretty good chances, even though there weren't a lot of shots.
Yeah, they both did. I was most impressed with the way St. Louis played defensively. They really kept the Flames on the outside. The only good chances that the Flames had were from deflections, kind of cutting through and deflecting the shots from the point. By and large, the defense, the St. Louis defense collapsed the way they usually do. They collapsed with all of their defenders in tight, forced the Flames to shoot from the outside. So far, the Blues' defensive tactics are there. With his penalties coming up, I have no idea what's going to happen.
The biggest surprise probably going into Game 6 was the dressing of Cliff Ronning, who's wearing number 7, and he has been instrumental.
He has. He's played very well, but you have to understand one thing. He's playing in a unit, and there are 3 of them, and Bernie Federko is one of them. Bernie, as great a hockey player as he is, has to know who he's playing with, and he doesn't know Ronning very well, so they're going to have to adjust quickly because Bernie's not on top of his game yet.
We're just about set to go. Still no score heading into the second period. Back to you, Tom.
Thanks, Ken. Even though the score is 0-0, doesn't mean that both sides haven't had some good scoring opportunities. Let's take a brief look at some of those opportunities. We mentioned Cliff Ronning, the youngster off the Canadian Olympic team playing for St. Louis. He'll carry the puck up ice into the Calgary zone. Ronning makes a couple of nice lateral moves here and shoots the puck. Mike Vernon makes the save and covers up as Bernie Federko is on the doorstep. One of the few Calgary chances. Al McInnes picks up the puck, passes to Jamie McCowan. Now McCowan's got all day to tee this up. Watch the pads of Wamsley close at the last minute. It comes back to McCowan again, but he did not score. Very late in the first, Gino Cavallini from St. Louis shooting from a bad angle. Mike Vernon stops the puck, misplays it, but it doesn't cross the line. Then Calgary, Joe Lotto wins a face-off to McCowan. McCowan shoots. They save by Wamsley, and look at that. That's right at the end of the period as Gilmore and McDonald started that huge brawl, and poor Wamsley was caught in his net, looking up at all the beef going up around him and fighting each other and all those penalties at the end of the period. Well, reminder, St. Louis wins tonight. We will be live at the Saddle Dome in Calgary Wednesday night for a dramatic Game 7 at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time. Now, if Calgary wins tonight, this series will be over, and Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals will be Friday night in Calgary. Should the Flames win tonight, they'd have home ice advantage, and that game Friday night would be 9 p.m. also. Well, it's time to go back to the St. Louis Arena again, where the 19,000 plus are getting their voices toned up to root on their St. Louis Blues. Let's rejoin Jim Kelly. Jim?
All right, Tom, thank you very much. 0-0 after 20 minutes. Of course, if this game ends in a tie, we go into overtime. The winner goes on, the loser goes home. We are just outside the Calgary Flames dressing room. It was really kind of interesting between the first intermission there because the dressing rooms here at the Checker Dome, the St. Louis Arena, if you will, are so small, there wasn't room for the backup goaltender, Reggie Lemelin. He sat over in the chair outside the dressing room with all his pads and heavy equipment on. He couldn't get inside to find out what Coach Bob Johnson was saying. In fact, Bob Johnson had such a tough time, he slowly dragged line by line each one of the Flames line outside. One by one they came out. Joey Mullen, Jim Kaplinski, Lanny McDonald and all, and took them over in the corner over there and talked to each line individually. So the dressing room is posing a little bit of a problem for the Calgary Flames. That's Nicky Fatiu over behind me. He did not dress. They're studying our replays. They looked at him at the end of the first intermission. And so we are just about set to go with period number 2. The Blues nothing and the Flames nothing. Let's go back upstairs to Bill Clement and our play-by-play man, Ken Wilson.
And the penalty boxes here are about the size of the dressing rooms. The bottom line on the penalties, simply, Brian Sutter has a 1:20 to go in his slashing penalty, and Gilmore has a 2-minute roughing penalty to serve. The other penalties are coincidental or misconduct penalties.
Well, what the Flames want to do here now, Ken, is take their time and get 1. It would be nice to get 2, but if they try and concentrate on getting 2, they will probably rush themselves. They have a 1:20 with a 2-man advantage. That's plenty of time. They have plenty of skills to get a goal in that amount of time.
The importance of this situation, I don't think, Bill, can be overemphasized. This is really pivotal here.
Oh, this could be the turning point of the game. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out. And it's funny, before this game started, Ken, I was looking at last game, Game 5's penalties, and there were 30 penalties. It filled up the whole space in the scoring sheet, the official scoring sheet, and I was saying, boy, that was a lot of penalties. Well, here I am looking at the first period of Game 6, and there are 21 penalties. This entire column is just about filled, and we're only 20 minutes into this game.
First period shots, 9 for Calgary, 5 for St. Louis, neither team scoring. Jacques Demers is going to start Reeds, Mahar, and Ramage initially. Typically, you would go with 1 forward and 2 defensemen, and I would assume another defenseman will come on after the faceoff. Calgary at full strength. They'll have McInnes on defense with Reinhardt. They'll be the point men. Mullen on left wing, Eaves on right wing, and Quinn at center. Tremendous opportunity. 2-man advantage to start the second period for Calgary. And the Blues win the faceoff, and Ramage clears the puck down the ice. The Blues going it with one defenseman, which is a bit surprising. Reinhart will set it up at the point. He's got Quinn in the right circle, and there he is right in front on the feed from Mullen, and the Flames take a 1-0 lead. Oh, there was little doubt, and a very well executed play.
Ken, that took 20 seconds to happen. Danny Quinn right there on the doorstep. What a great play by Paul Reinhart. He comes over, watch him stop here, puts on the brakes. Okay, patience is the name of the game. Moves it into the far corner. Now Danny Quinn, that's no accident that he is there. And the Flames are very quick, Ken, to point out that on 5-on-3 advantages, they had a better scoring ratio, a better scoring percentage than anybody in the National Hockey League last year. They practice at 5-on-3. They can combat just about any defense because there are only 3 guys out there. They can only do so much. And that man was at the right place at the right time. That is the big goal the Flames wanted. They lead 1-0.
6th playoff goal for Quinn. He had 2 goals in Game 5. Calgary with the first goal tonight, as we mentioned earlier. The team getting the first goal, and every game of this series has gone on to win. Blues still a man short, and a good save by Walmsley on the Al McInnes shot. Reinhart at the left point. Gets the puck back from Eaves. In front, Quinn and Mullen. Now Mullen, a penalty coming up. A penalty coming up to St. Louis. Reinhart shot stopped, and Walmsley covers the rebound off Mike Eaves' stick. And Bill Clement, with 1:10 to go in the original penalty to Gilmore, being served by Gino Cavallini. Norwood's going to go off. The Blues will be 2 men short, and they're going to go crazy here.
Well, you can imagine that the whole Blues organization is fuming right now, and if this game happens to end with Calgary winning it, they will look back at this whole sequence, the first 2 minutes of the second period, as the turning point. Norwood upset. Jacques Demers is jumping out of his skin on the bench. We'll see if we can get a look. Lower right of your screen. There's number 23, Norwood. There's Danny Quinn, number 10. He gives him a shot in the back of the head. Now, I'll tell you one thing. If Kerry Fraser called that when you're down 2 men, he's got more courage, should I say, than I have. It's very uncharacteristic for, if in fact that was the infraction, very uncharacteristic at this stage of the game, especially in the playoffs, for a referee to call that.
Jacques Demers, you can clearly tell what he's saying. If we're going to lose, let us lose, but let us lose. Let us at least play the game.
It's a shame to see it go down like this, and we're 2 periods away from the end of the game, so it's a long way from being over, but I'll tell you, I can almost sense the St. Louis Blues starting to shrivel up a little bit now. Gosh, a couple of blows like that. And
that goal, a power play goal at 20 seconds. Quinn gets it. Mullen and Reinhart get the assists for Calgary. 1-0 Flames, and Kerry Fraser penalizing Norwood for 1:10 now. Bob Johnson's club is going to have a 2-man advantage. Let's go to Jim Kelly. Let's go to Jim Kelly.
Thank you, Ken. While the St. Louis fans are littering the ice here, protesting Kerry Fraser's last call, also down by the Flames dressing room during that first intermission when Coach Bob Johnson of Calgary was finished talking with his lines individually, he was over reading the riot act to Frank Advari of the NHL officials. Now, it would be hard to imagine that Advari would get to Kerry Fraser so quickly, but Bob Johnson was not at all pleased with the officiating in the first period. And Kerry Fraser tightening the screws already at the 19:10 mark of period number 2, and the Flames already with a power play goal. And Bill Clement, you know, as a former player, there's kind of that unwritten rule in playoff hockey. You let a little bit more go in a game than you ordinarily might, particularly in the third period.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to point out, Jim, and this is only the second period, but you have to let more go, not only in the playoffs, but you're right in the third period. Okay, we're in the second period. We're in a playoff game, and a team has just been scored on because they were down 2 men. Now they're back to being down 1 man, and the referee calls another one. Now, if the Flames scored, the referee can say that he was directly involved with the outcome of the game. They try and avoid that.
Reinhart, McInnes. Eaves in the middle. Mullen and Quinn are the wingers. Reinhart moves in, shoots. Walmsley, the big save. Still 52 seconds in the 2-man short situation. Mullen to Reinhart. McInnes. Now the fans throwing debris on the ice, and play is stopped. Joe Mullen is going to protest. Well, Kerry Fraser can handle a game as well as any referee in the NHL, and the way things are going here, he might have all he needs to handle.
Gosh, Ken, I don't know about this call. I mean, somebody throws something on the ice. It's almost as if he's saying, okay, I really owe St. Louis something at this stage. I'm going to stop the play. I mean, referees don't hand out penalties the way he did, nor do they stop the play when something like this happens.
Paul Reinhart had an opportunity there the defenseman would beg for about a month of the season and passed.
And he had a great opportunity before that he created. He is the most gifted Calgary player, Paul Reinhart is, and he is one of the big reasons why they do so well on these 5-on-3s. Now, you see how he holds the puck here. Look at Mahar. He turns away from him. Reinhart never passed it. Reinhart let on like he was going to pass, then never did. Got good wood on it. He might have shot it at the wrong height. He shot at glove height. Had he shot it lower or higher, it would have been a tougher save for Walmsley. But he shot it right at glove height.
The Blues are shorthanded by 2 men for another 46 seconds. They have Ramage and Natras, 2 defensemen, out now with Mahar. Here is Eads with Quinn and Mullen up front on the Calgary power play. Natras, nice job stealing the puck. He's got Mahar ahead of him. It would behoove him, however, to worry about defense. Still 25 seconds left in the 2-man advantage for Calgary. The crowd appreciates the work by Natras. Al McInnes. Paul Reinhart. Mullen. Walmsley clears it to Natras. He can't get the puck out. Here's Reinhart moving in over to Quinn. He shoots and scores. What a dandy pass. And Dan Quinn, who has spent virtually every Calgary power play in this series on the right dot, scores his second goal. It is 2-0 Flames.
Ken, I have no idea how much time Dan Quinn spends on this particular shot, but it is brilliant. He has no time to get it away. The puck kind of jammed him. It was in the middle. It wasn't perfect to shoot. He gets it up high over Walmsley, a sharp angle shot. Boy, I mean to tell you, this kid can execute. He's had many chances like that. I think this has to be his 4th goal that I have seen him in this series score from right there. And Calgary leaves him over there, and what they do is they decoy. They decoy, they decoy. Sooner or later, all of the Blues penalty killers are looking someplace else, and Reinhart threads that needle as well as anybody. Quinn just snaps it without stopping it every time.
Calgary scores 2 goals in the first 1 minute and 57 seconds of the second period, both times with a 2-man advantage. And they lead 2-0. The Blues facing elimination. And the shot from Reeds hits the Calgary player and goes in the crowd. Now Lee Norwood has 48 seconds remaining in his penalty. Calgary still with a power play. Norwood went off for roughing at 50 seconds.
Well, we mentioned that it could possibly be the potential turning point of the game after only 20 minutes of play. And I'm not sure that we didn't come close, at least to this point, hitting the nail right on the head. Of course, Kerry Fraser helped us out with that second penalty that gave the Flames another 2-man advantage. But this game is in the Flames' hands now.
Pinelli to Bozak. McInnes, Reinhart. Pinelli plants himself right in front of Walmsley. And the shot from McDonald deflecting wide. 23 seconds left in the Blues. Short-handed situation. Well, look at this passing. Walmsley knocks the puck away from Tonelli. Calgary doing everything on the power play that the Blues aren't. Tonelli can't get the quick shot away. 10 seconds left in the power play. Reeds has lost his stick. Blues playing with a defender without the stick. And it's offside Calgary, and Norwood steps back on the ice. The Blues' series of penalties are over, and with 17:09 to go in the second period, Calgary with a big 2-0 lead. Quinn scoring both goals on the power play.
I'll tell you what the St. Louis Blues have to fight now, Ken, and that is being discouraged. You know, they themselves know that they don't want to lose a hockey game because of officiating. And I'm not saying that it is officiating, but it's the penalties that killed them. Here's a look at Walmsley swapping the puck out of the way. But now is time for the St. Louis Blues to regroup. This period, 17 minutes and 5 seconds to go, will probably tell whether the St. Louis Blues are going to get a Game 7.
Federico with Ronning and Hunter, and it is offside. Often you see timeouts called. There are a limited number of them at the very end of the game. Once in a while you see it at another time, and I would suggest if the Blues don't respond well in the next couple of minutes, with so much time to go in the period, it would be an ideal time for Jacques Demers to call a timeout.
Very good thought. Very good thought to regroup his troops and to pep them back up. It's such an emotional situation out there. You can't imagine the emotions that race through these players' minds second after second. And when you just come through what the Blues have had to endure here over the last 3 minutes, they're going to sag emotionally right now, and the Flames will obviously try and capitalize on that and widen the margin.
Hockenloo with Eaves and Patterson. McCowan at the point, and Patterson unable to deflect the puck on goal. 2-0. Calgary leads it. First goal at 20 seconds. Quinn scored it. Two-man advantage. Then at 1:57, another Quinn goal with a two-man advantage. Patterson unable to get around Natras. Here's Ronning with Hunter and Fedorko. Hunter will go to the bench now. Both teams want a line change. Ronning taken out by Mullen. And Ragland breaks that play up in a hurry. Fedorko dragging the puck in, put himself offside. It's Calgary 2, St. Louis no score.
When you're searching for signs of spring, pick these warm weather ideas inside the new spring catalog from True Value hardware stores. Like this powerful rear bagging lawn chief mower, just $199.88. And this gas-powered weed eater trimmer, only $78.88. Get this Green Thumb half-gallon pressure sprayer, just $12.88. And this 60-foot Green Thumb vinyl hose, reinforced for extra strength. It's only $9.99 in the spring catalog and at participating True Value hardware stores.
Ken Wilson, Bill Clement, Jim Kelly, Tom Mees. The NHL Stanley Cup playoffs on ESPN. Calgary with a 2-goal lead tonight in the second period, trying to end this Campbell Conference Championship Series in 6 games. The winner will meet Montreal for the Stanley Cup. Paul Baxter just clearing the puck out. Bruce Bell will go back for it. Icing is the call against the Flames. A little humor in the crowd tonight.
That round of applause is a nice bit of sarcasm by the St. Louis fans, cheering that the referees did call something that they seemed to know what they were doing on. And there's a man that is back in the lineup tonight, Bruce Bell, replacing young Brian Benning. Jacques Demers really wanted Bell to anchor their power play. Thus far, no luck in the power play. The Flames have scored 2, and that equals St. Louis's total output on power plays in this series in 6 games against the Flames. The Blues have scored 2 power play goals in 6 games. The Flames have 2 tonight already.
Now the Blues trying to put some pressure on. Gilmore looking for Sutter in front. Unable to reach him initially. Gilmore to Pavis. Quick shot. Doesn't get much of it. Sutter overskates. And Vernon covers the puck for a face-off deep in the Calgary end.
Ken, I can tell you something that Bob Johnson and the Calgary Flames are telling one another right now, and that is be very careful, because Kerry Fraser, the referee, will call penalties very quickly on the Calgary Flames. Referees seem to do that. When they've whistled down penalties and goals have been scored, they are not hesitant to try and even the score a little bit. So they're watching the Calgary Flames now very closely. The Flames are aware of it. It's just a matter of whether or not they have the discipline to hold back until Kerry Fraser forgets what has happened.
Wickenheiser facing off against Eaves. Beers on the left wing. Ragland on the right wing. Wickenheiser leaves the puck on the boards. Hockenloo clears it by Pavis. Eaves beaten to the puck by Natras. Pavis to Eddie Beers, another former Flame playing for St. Louis. Here's Ragland. Puck poked away, kept in by Natras. Now Wickenheiser. He's got Beers in front, and Sheehy intercepts. The Harvard product. Sheehy lifts the puck out. Sheehy knocks it to center ice, and there will be a penalty. Eaves upended Beers, and the crowd wanted to make sure that Kerry Fraser saw it. The Flames can't believe it, and your point, Bill Clement, is extremely well taken.
I don't think Mike Eaves can believe it, other than the fact that Kerry Fraser called the penalties against St. Louis that Calgary scored on. Well, he's going to have to believe it, and he'll serve 2 minutes. In St. Louis at the arena, it's the Flames 2 and the Blues nothing.
Introducing the totally redesigned Honda Shadow. radically styled custom ever made. On the other hand, looks aren't everything. The new Shadow from Honda.
Mike Eves tripping penalty at 5:02 of the second period. We'll see if we can get a peek at it. Well, what would you call that, Ken Wilson?
I'd say he tripped him with his forearm.
He's only 3'4".
It's Ronning, Hunter, and Federico, Bell, and Ramage in front of Walmsley. The Blues need a goal. Calgary with 2 power play goals in the first 1 minute, 57 seconds of this second period. Still a long way to go tonight here in St. Louis. Bell hits Federico with a puck delayed offside. Risebrough breaks out. Risebrough against Ramage. Now it's Hunter. Ronning. Look at that move. This young fella has some moves. He's small and shifty. Blues, Bruce Bell for Ronning. Now McCowan. Can't get it by Ramage. Hunter in the corner. Mark Hunter. 1:12 to go in the Blues power play. Ronning, a blind pass a bit. Hunter went the other way. Ramage makes it look good. Ronning in front, shoots. He scores! Cliff Ronning.
Said he was tiny and shifty. Ken, you said it. You're absolutely right. There's so much action in front of the net. You can see McInnes. Doug Risebrough is behind him. The Flames are so busy tying the 2 men up in front of the net that they just let Ronning skip out all alone. I'll tell you what, he is cat-like quick. Of all of the players on the St. Louis team, he would be the one player you wouldn't want to leave behind the net. And it's safe to say he took a page from the book of Bernie Federico's office, because that's where Bernie sets up behind the net. Heads-up play by Cliff Ronning. Boy, that's a big goal to get St. Louis back in it.
Blues shoot the puck in. Here's Gilmore. They shot, and the save by Vernon. Blues with the pressure on. Flames lead it 2-1. The Norwood shot wide. And the puck cleared out by Tonelli. The Blues clearly answering, but they didn't get the Daubers down much after those 2 shorthanded goals. Sutter shoots it in. He's on one wing, Paslowski on the other. Gilmore is at center. Tonelli for Calgary. Up to McDonald. He can't get it out. Gilmore keeps it in. And off the boards, Vernon plays the puck to gain a stoppage in play with 13:20 to go in the second period. Dan Quinn scoring a pair of power play goals early for Calgary, both while the Blues were shorthanded.
Well, the Blues keeping the Flames running around. Here's another look at Ronning's goal. Now, notice that Mike Vernon did not choke up on his stick, or at least move down to the handle and try and help himself. If there's one thing that Mike Vernon has not done well in this series, Ken Wilson, it's help himself with his stick around the goal. He's been brilliant in stopping the puck, but there's more to goaltending than that. And very often when players have danced out from behind the net, Vernon has not reacted quickly enough. He could have had his hand way up in the shaft of his stick and tried to poke check him, but he made no effort to that time.
That was left incomplete and redundant. Quinn's goals both coming on the power play with the Blues shorthanded by 2 men. That's important to have that phrase on the end of that sentence. Ronning coming back with the Blues. First power play goal tonight. Only their 3rd power play goal in 29 power play opportunities in this series. And all of a sudden the momentum has come towards the St. Louis Blues. Here's Pavis, a shot and a pad save by Vernon. And the Blues will come onside. Pavis doesn't wait long enough. And now Pavis gets in a tussle right in front of the St. Louis bench.
Boy, it's more than a tussle. Somebody looks as if they're down for the count, Ken. I think it's Dan Quinn. He's not moving at all. You can see Gino Cavallini leaning over. There's Bearcat Murray to attend to him. Pavis must have hit him one good lick somewhere in the area where he can knock people out, and that's usually in the jaw. Well, while they're tending to him, Ken, I'll tell you one thing about Mike Vernon. He's a fighter. Right after they scored, the play went back down to their end. I was watching him. Brian Sutter skated through the crease. He took his stick and whacked him right on the ankles as if to say, all right, you guys got one on me, but it's going to stop right there. And what a save he made on Jim Pavis just before this deal happened here.
At the arena, Flames 2, Blues 1.
Just because you've washed your car doesn't mean you're finished. After each wash, you need some Armor All. On the dash, the bumper, and especially the tires. After all, when you're in love, what's a few extra minutes? Armor All. It's the finishing touch every time you wash your car.
Well, what originally looked like it might be 2 to 5 for manslaughter has turned out to be 2 minutes for roughing by Jim Pavis. That's the right of your screen. Little elbow up. He was actually protecting himself. Danny Quinn is down and up now. All of a sudden, he's all right.
Now Norwood with a puck. Blues short-handed, and Mahar clears the zone. Calgary looking to extend their lead to 2 goals again. They have the man advantage as McDonald is stopped. It doesn't take much to realize how fired up the Blues are, and this standing room only crowd at the arena is. Reinhart with Hockenloob. Lanny McDonald. Steve Bozak. John Tonelli. That is the Calgary power play. Here's Hockenloob. McDonald. Now Natras in the corner. Dangerous clearing effort that is able to whittle its way up the ice. There's over a minute 2 to go in the Pavis penalty. Here come the Flames. Hockenloob looking for Tonelli in front. Now Quinn, and finally decides on Eves. To Reinhart. Eves, in front. Ramage going at it with Tonelli. Eves again. Hockenloob, the save. Tonelli there, and Walmsley comes up with a big save. Tonelli is really aggressive and tough in front of Walmsley. Makes it almost impossible for the Blues goaltender to get a view of much of anything.
Boy, they're down to the nitty-gritty. No question about it. Rob Ramage really going out. Look at in front of the net, John Tonelli. And what a save Walmsley makes on Hockenloob with that right leg. Or did it go off the post?
May well have. It certainly looked like it.
Boy, it looked as if it went off the post from that angle and came right back out under Rick Walmsley. See if we can see it here. There's the shot. Bingo, right off the right post. Well, we won't give all the credit to Rick Walmsley, although we've said before that is a part of his equipment.
42 seconds remaining in the Jim Pavis penalty. 11:51 the time remaining in the second period. All the scoring has come in this period. Dan Quinn, 2 power play goals early for Calgary. And then the Blues have come back with a Cliff Ronning goal. Ramage and Hunter getting the assists. And set for the face-off in a moment near Rick Walmsley. First time in the history of these 2 franchises that the Blues and Flames have gotten together in the playoffs. And these St. Louis fans want to see Game 7 Wednesday night at the Olympic Saddledome in Calgary. Face-off won by the Flames. McInnes. Reinhart. Up front they have Eves. Into the corner for Mullen, and also Quinn, who's behind the net. Natras without a stick. Does a nice job with his glove. 25 seconds remaining in the Calgary power play. They lead 2-1. Quinn again. That's a good-looking pass to Reinhart. Reeds knocks it away. Quinn stations himself behind the net. Now he'll come to his position in the right circle. Mullen on the rebound after the tip-in attempt, and then Eves is stopped. One thing Calgary's doing, Bill, they're changing the pattern a little bit. They don't depend on Quinn in the circle. 9-minute mark. Second period. Flames power play is up. Here's Mullen. Good save. Walmsley, and Pavis just out of the penalty box clearing it the length of the ice, and it'll be icing against the Blues. Again, Calgary up 2-1. Let's catch a breath and check in with Jim Kelly.
All right, Kenny, from the ice to some beautiful horse country southwest of Philadelphia, but it'll be the site of the PGA Senior United Hospitals Classic and great golf action on ESPN. The first round Friday, May 16th, second round Saturday and Sunday, all live. It's one of the most difficult courses on the Senior PGA Tour because of the hilly terrain. It's some beautiful horse country out there. All of the top money winners expected to compete, including last year's winner, Don January. Arnold Palmer is expected to be there, along with Gary Player, Lee Elder, and Miller Barber. It's a $200,000 purse, so join us on ESPN Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the PGA Senior United Hospitals Golf Classic. How's your golf game, guys?
I don't know about you, but we haven't had much of a chance to get the clubs out of storage, Jim.
Haven't seen the clubs lately. And the score right there, Peplinski from the circle on the backhander, and it is 3-1 Calgary. The first goal tonight that has come with both teams at full strength. A big goal for the Flames.
Ken, I was just wondering where Jim Peplinski had gone. Then I remembered Joel Otto, his line mate, is still sitting over in the penalty box, and that affects everybody on the line. So Jim Peplinski, I'm not sure that we've seen him in this period before this particular shift. He sure made the best of this backhand. Gets good wood on it that beats Wansley to the stick side. Very difficult to defend against. It's very difficult for a goaltender to pick up a backhand shot sliding off the stick and figure out where it's going.
3-1, Calgary leads it. Oh, that's a big goal for the Flames. It just takes the starch right out of the Blues. It has to. Sheehy and Ronning collide. Sheehy appearing hurt. And that's the stoppage in play. 9:19, the time of the Jim Peplinski goal. Peplinski now with 4 playoff goals.
And I think Neil Sheehy somehow had his skate locked in. I'm not sure whether it was intentionally with Cliff Ronning, and while Ronning was going down, he's a little guy with a little short stick. His stick flung up in the air and caught Sheehy somewhere in the face, right in the nose it looked like.
The score, Calgary 3, St. Louis 1.
Introducing the G-Shock 5200 watch from Casio. The sports watch that's ready for action with a built-in shock absorber. It's tough, so tough, this G-Shock can take a slap in the face and not even flinch. The G-Shock 5200, just one of Casio's water-resistant sports watches. It's one tough watch to beat.
Well, Bearcat Murray, the Calgary trainer, trying to do his magic on Neil Sheehy's nose, we believe. Let's take a look. Ronning goes past him. Whew. Boy, you couldn't see much of Ronning. He was falling down, but his stick came up and caught Sheehy square in the face.
Quinn and Gilmore. Flames win the draw. McCowan to McInnes. McDonald on the right wing. Quinn at center. Tonelli on the left wing. Flames have had a very strong game tonight. I think they've passed very well, especially they've handled the puck in marvelous fashion on the power play, and they have 2 power play goals. Ramage back the other way, and the Blues are stopped. And that's a little bit more how it's generally gone for the Blues tonight. Much to the St. Louis Blues credit, as this is an icing call against Calgary, is the fact that after they gave up the 2 goals early in this period, they did come back, and I think that showed a lot about this hockey club.
Yeah, but the unfortunate thing for the Blues now, Ken, is that they have to do it again. You take those 2 power play goals away that the Flames scored because of those double man advantages. They got a 1-all hockey game, and really the second period has been more Flames than St. Louis. And we talked about it between periods. I thought it was pretty even in the first period in the early going. And who knows where we would be now had we not had those penalty situations. But let's give the Flames some credit. They executed. Kerry Fraser called the penalties. They still had to put the biscuit in the net. And they did a heck of a job doing that. A lot of credit goes to Bob Johnson. They work on their power play hour after hour. I'll tell you, get to this stage of the year, all those hours of hard work on the power play and the specialty teams look real good now.
Blues with some pressure. Ramage's shot intentionally off the end boards doesn't come in front. Or Herb Raglan on with Beers and Wickenheiser. And Raglan is not hesitant. The rookie likes to hit and he likes to shoot. Now Ramage back with Mullen all over him. And they both go down. 9:25 left, second period. Blues trailing the Flames 3-1. Lee Norwood. And Ramage back. This crowd crowd has come to a period of silence here in St. Louis. Beers unable to get around Ride Proud. Here's Hagen-Lou. The outlet just out of the reach of Patterson. This will be icy. Natras touches the puck, and there's exactly 9 minutes to go in the second period. Calgary has outshot the Blues in this period 10-4. They outshot them in the opening period by a margin of 9-5. Demers, just as they're ready for the faceoff, decides to send on Ronning, centering Fedorko and Hunter. And at this point, I'd say Ronning is the man to go to for a spark.
Boy, you might as well play him until he can't skate anymore. The kid is really going tonight. And, well, you have to go with who is hot. It doesn't matter who they are. Whoever you have playing on a given night, when it's a do-or-die situation, you end up giving that guy all the ice time he can handle.
Mark Hunter, a good chance. Now the Flames, 3-on-3. Steve Bozek, the former LA King. Here's Bruce Bell having trouble, and Natras covers up. Here's Bozek again. Bell takes him out, and Ronning takes the puck. 3-1 Calgary. Ronning just shooting the puck in. Hunter to dig it out. Reinhardt, a good job there, and Hagen-Lou again. Just clears the puck away. And it'll be another icing as Bell touches the puck. And with 8:16 to go in the middle period, the Flames on top, 3-1.
Meet Cobra, the strong arm of the law. Stallone is a cop called Cobra. Rated R. Soon everywhere. Experience an incredible advance in Gillette shaving smoothness. Atra Plus. The Plus is the white Lubri-Smooth strip that releases lubricants as you shave. You never felt anything smoother. Atra Plus by Gillette. The essence of shaving.
You're looking at the author of the Calgary Flames' third goal here at the St. Louis Arena in Game 6, Big Jim Poplinski, and what a series he had against the Edmonton Oilers. Had quite a decent series against these guys, but not quite as much has been demanded of him because the series hasn't been as physical, but when he has to, he is a dominant figure on the ice.
That goal at 9:19, Bozek assisting Poplinski's goal to make it 3-1 Calgary. Here's Lanny McDonald having to wait for his mates to catch up. Poplinski with him over the line. The shot, the glove save by Walmsley.
Kind of interesting that Rick Walmsley dropped to his knees on that shot after Lanny let it go. I wonder if he's committing a little early. I wonder if he's been thrown off his game. I'll have to watch him and see how steady he is, but it's unusual for a goalie that gets this far to start committing before the shot comes. And let's face it, that shot was 4 feet off the ice. If he committed after the shot, there's no reason for him to be down on his knees.
The faceoff will be near Walmsley. Brian Sutter, the inspirational leader, more in the locker room even than on the ice, as much of a leader as he is on the ice. He's on left wing. Paslowski the right wing, Gilmore the center. Poplinski still centering for Calgary with Tonelli and McDonald. McCowan top of the circle, hoping he can get the puck back, and it ends up to McInnes. Deflection right in front. Ramage doesn't see the puck. And finally Gilmore comes up with it to Sutter. That eludes Paslowski, and here's Poplinski. Now McCowan. Gilmore intercepting, then loses the puck. Here's Norwood on defense with Rob Ramage. Paslowski. Both teams changing players. McInnes back ahead of Gilmore, then Paslowski there with McCowan. Paslowski in the corner, some good footwork. And Al McInnes gets the puck, driving it around the boards, and unable to keep it in as Pavis, and the two teams will complete their player change.
Ken, tell me at this stage of the game if you don't see the Calgary Flames looking a lot like the usual St. Louis Blues, going into a rope-a-dope type of defense. They know they have enough goals to win.
Very much so. I agree totally. Here comes Calgary, 2-on-2. Quinn and Mullen. Pavis back with Natras. Good poke check, Pavis, but then Baxter a drive that Walmsley just kicks out. Mullen to Johnson. Now Ragland will break out. Wickenheiser tries to hold up Johnson. Can't. Ragland to Wickenheiser. Blues just sending on 2 fresh defensemen, and that hampers that play. 3-1. Flames lead. 6:25 to go in the second period. Baxter shoots the puck into the crowd. It's Calgary 3, St. Louis 1.
In the Army, we do more before 9 a.m. than most people do all day.
Hey, First Sergeant. Good morning.
Hey, where did you learn about computers?
In the Army.
You were in the Army, too?
Qualify for the GI Bill and the Army College Fund, and you can earn over $25,000 for college.
What you do in the Army?
Airborne.
You used to jump out of airplanes?
Should the Blues come back and win Game 6, Game 7 would be in Calgary on Wednesday night and right here on ESPN, as ESPN takes you right to the Stanley Cup Championship. If Calgary wins, they'll rest along with Montreal until Friday night, and ESPN will be in Calgary for Game 1 of the finals. Neil Sheehy. Hakanlub covered by Fedorko. Ramage. Reinhart for the Flames. Ronning intercepting, and Reinhart gets it back. Hakanlub, the 25-year-old, shoots it in. Walmsley out of the net. Blues have trouble maintaining possession, and finally Fedorko takes charge. The birthday boy trying to do it himself. Can't get in front, but with one hand keeps possession. Now Natras just trying to keep the puck in to Fedorko. And Hunter has trouble. Fedorko again. Taken out. From the point, Natras hits Hakanlub, and Hakanlub has a breakaway on Walmsley. Walmsley stays back. Hakanlub shoots. Walmsley makes the save. And it remains 3-1. And a whistle stops play. And Kerry Fraser heads to the penalty box with 5:19 remaining in the second period. Walmsley the big save. Lee Norwood will pick up a penalty.
Lube didn't have to do much on this play. It was actually Mark Hunter that stopped the puck. Watch Norwood slash him. And if you had a chance to watch Hakanlub skating off the top of your screen, you would have seen a man in pain. Norwood made great contact down low on his leg. Hakanlub had the puck. Ken Wilson jumped right over his stick when he was waiting to let it go. And that's why he hardly got any wood on it. It was actually a much easier save than I'm sure that man, Rick Walmsley, anticipated. Let's see if we can see the puck jumping over his stick. At the same time, watch Norwood come from the left. Bingo, right across the ankle. Boy, Norwood really smacked him, and Lube was in a lot of pain going to the bench.
That puck would not obey him at the last minute when he needed to pull the trigger. Norwood gets a slashing penalty at 14:41. First goal came with a two-man Calgary advantage in this second period at 20 seconds. Quinn from Reinhart and Mullen. Then with another two-man advantage at 1:57, Quinn from Reinhart. 2-0 Calgary. Then the Blues, a power play goal at 5:58. And here's another goal. Tonelli, second time Calgary has scored right from the faceoff. After Ronning made it 2-1, Kaplinski at 9:19, and now another power play goal for Calgary right from the faceoff as John Tonelli makes it 4-1 Calgary.
Ken, after the goal, Rob Ramage is entirely incensed. He could not believe Kerry Wilson's call, and I'm not sure why. Tonelli is all alone walking in on Walmsley, and that gives the Flames a lead that is really taking its toll on the frustrations of the St. Louis Blues. They are arguing right now. Tonelli walked in front unmolested. There's not much to say about that goal other than the fact that someone missed an assignment, and Tonelli had a point-blank shot that Rick Walmsley had very little chance on.
John Tonelli, he's been quite a leader, has his fifth goal. He came into the game with 13 points and picks up his 14th playoff point here, and it's total frustration on Rob Ramage's face, and 3 Calgary power play goals here tonight. And this crowd, and Rob Ramage and Jacques Demers not very happy with referee Kerry Fraser.
You know, Danny Quinn actually lost that face-off. You know that? And with the help of a couple of his teammates moving through the circle, they were actually able to sweep it up, and you can see a dejected Rob Ramage. And Ken Wilson, I have to tell you that I didn't want to see it happen like this. I didn't want to see either team go down like this, and I'm not commenting on Kerry Fraser's calls at this point. It's just a shame when you see a dynamic series, as this one has been, a hard-fought series. It hasn't been as glamorous as the Oilers-Flames series, and the Blues aren't out of it. We still have 5 minutes to go in the second period. But from a player standpoint, I know what an empty feeling if the St. Louis Blues go on to lose this game, what an empty feeling they will have, knowing that it slipped away from their hands and very little they could do about it.
Rob Ramage picking up a misconduct. Tonelli getting the goal from Quinn. A power play goal at 14:44 of the second period. We have seen 5 goals in this period. And only one of them, the Peplinski goal from Bozak at 9:19, came with both teams at full strength. Again, we're back to the importance in this series in particular, certainly overall in the playoffs, of the specialty teams. Let's check in with Jim Kelly.
Kenny, it's going to take a while to clear off all the debris down here at ice side with 5:16 to go, and the Flames ahead by that 4-1 score. When you think of the name Hall, H-U-L-L, not Hall, we had the feature on Glenn Hall in the first intermission. You think of Bobby Hall, the Golden Jet for the Chicago Blackhawks. But how about his son, Brett Hall, from the University of Minnesota Duluth? He'll be our guest, intermission number 2. Also, we'll have a feature on some old-timers around the National Hockey League. We'll check in at Sports Center, and Tom Mees, of course, with highlights of the second period, which has featured all the scoring here in this hockey game. And with a 4-1 lead for the Calgary Flames, and as Bill pointed out, the Flames kind of going into their shell on defense. It's going to be very difficult, Bill Clement, for St. Louis to climb back into this.
Boy, you said a mouthful there, Jim. It's going to be very difficult for them. Not only are they fighting a 3-goal deficit, but they're fighting something intangible now. The discouragement, the downside, the emotional sliding that they've just gone through right down the side of a mountain that they were very close to being on top of.
And they bounced back the first time. But how many recoveries are there, even for an inspirational team as the St. Louis Blues? Can't be many.
I would think that sooner or later, let me put it this way, every team has a story, and a lot of teams are unsung, and they go into the playoffs, and they always talk about pulling it out when their backs are to the wall. But you take a look at the record, and in more cases than not, sooner or later, Lady Luck catches up with them, or the truth catches up with them, or something catches up with them, and they end up sitting watching the final series.
Isn't that been the story of the year of the upset in the Stanley Cup playoffs? That's what the New York Ranger players are doing right now. They're saying, yep, we know what Bill Clement is talking about. The Hartford Whalers, even to a degree, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the St. Louis Blues, really the last of the Cinderella survivors. 5:12 to go in the second period. 4-1 Calgary. Both teams again at full strength. Well, those 2 Calgary goals, the last 2 right from faceoffs, have really hurt the St. Louis Blues, and those faceoffs so important. And Calgary coming up with the 2 important goals. Now Fedorko, nice pass to Ronnie. Hunter is the right wing. 2-on-2. Ronnie leaves it for Hunter. He's poke check. Risebrow to Lanny McDonald. Too far Norwood. Right back to McInnes. The Flames, if they have not taken the Blues out of the game, for the moment again, have taken this capacity crowd out of this one. Ronnie with the only St. Louis goal. The long shot and the save. McCowan to Hockett-Lou. Out to Mike Eaves. With Colin Patterson. And Pavis trying to clear the zone does. Here's Rick Natras. Now the crowd trying to come back. Pavis pass too far for Gilmore. He's after the puck. He has it onside to Paslowski. They shot wide. Sutter to Paslowski. Now Hockett-Lou unable to get the puck out, and it's carried out by Patterson. 1-on-1 with Bell. The backhand shot. Walmsley the save, centering, and it's intercepted by Sutter. Here's Paslowski for St. Louis. 3:41 to go in the second period. And Vernon playing the puck. Mullen will come back for it. The pass behind Bozak. Here's Brian Sutter leaving it for Gilmore. He's checked by Mullen. Sheehy shoots it in, but Peplinski went back for his stick. The delayed offside. Waved away as Bell charges up the middle. Bruce Bell has the puck lifted away by Mullen, gets it back, and then it ends up in the crowd. And that stops the clock with 3:16 to go and tempers Flair here late in this second period.
Ken, at this stage of the game, no matter what St. Louis does, it's a safe bet that a certain percentage, and perhaps a significant percentage, of the Calgary players will sort of pull back a notch and maybe put it into semi-high gear instead of high gear. Watching the last couple of shifts, one guy that isn't doing that is Lanny McDonald. Gee, took an awful run at one of the St. Louis Blues. Jim Peplinski did it. And these are the inspirational leaders that the Flames have counted on so heavily to get here. And I can guarantee you that Lanny McDonald, after all of the years that he's spent in the NHL, wants as much as that man, Brian Sutter, to give his ring size to someone who is about to build a Stanley Cup ring for them. This is only the semifinals, but if you get by the semis, you can't imagine how close you are to that ring, and that is what is cherished by the players.
3:16 to go in the second period. 4-1 Calgary. 2 goals from Dan Quinn. Goals from Jim Peplinski and John Tonelli. Cliff Ronning scoring the only St. Louis goal. Doug Risebrough to face off against Rick Mahar. If this series ends here and the Flames become the Campbell Conference champions, it'll be Calgary opening up at home against Montreal on Friday night here on ESPN. Risebrough, a former Montreal player, clears the zone. Games 1 and 2 would be at Calgary Friday and Sunday. Baxter firing it in. Games 3 and 4, needless to say, would be in Montreal. 5 in Calgary, 6 in Montreal, 7 in Calgary. But that would be to count out the Blues. Bourgeois, long shot, Vernon save. There's still 2:40 remaining in the second period. 4-1 Calgary. Baxter trying to clear the puck ahead, stopped by Ragland. Here's the defenseman McCowan getting the puck out to Tonelli. Bourgeois fell down. Pavis back. Risebrough shot stopped by Rick Wamsley.
Ken, it might be worthwhile now to point out, or at least to observe, as I have just noticed myself, that Charles Bourgeois is back in the ice. Have to keep in mind that during those 2-man disadvantages that St. Louis had, there was Bourgeois just falling there. That gave Risebrough his one-on-one situation. Charles Bourgeois, outside of Rob Ramage, would have to be considered, perhaps even on a par with Ramage, as a